Jai Gurudev everyone, and welcome to this another week of summary 9 to 14th of February. So now Rama is asking a question to Sage Vasishtha. During the cosmic dissolution, this world which is clearly seen now, where does it goes? Now Vasishtha has given a very beautiful example in his first sentence answer, while giving the answer in his first sentence, which has been quoted in many other scriptures as well, that from where does the son of a barren woman come and where does he go? A barren woman's son has no existence ever. Even so, this world has got no existence even. This analogy baffles you only because you have taken the existence of the world for granted. Okay, so understand this, you are sleeping and now you dream about something. Now that dream looks very real to you. All right. In that dream, your dream body suffers through all the emotions while watching the dream. The same happens here. When you wake up, the dream is gone. The dream is not the reality. The same happens here in this world as well. This projection that has happened on this level, on your individual consciousness, the mind, the intellect, the body, and now this body is presuming, now you are imagining you are A by A, B, C, you are male or female, you are intellectual, you are young, you are old, all those things is happening, and now you are creating your own world that we discussed in detail last time. Now this world has been created by you, and you have been created by that individual consciousness with all those impressions and memories and things. In today's chapter, today's session, we will go in detail. Vasishtha is going to explain in detail that how this creation has come into existence and how we come into existence. So because everything is come out of this projection, and the projection, the basis of this projection, that individual consciousness itself is not real. It has come out of that absolute. Like it has taken the energy and the power of that absolute and it is multiplying itself. That is why it is not real, and that is why it is not real. The basis is not here. That is why everything that has been projected after the basis is not real. That is why Vasishtha is saying that this whole existence is not real. This whole existence, this creation of the world has no cause, and therefore it has no beginning. It does not exist even now. How can it will reach to any destruction? Now this creation has no cause. It is just come out of. So therefore there is no beginning. Now you imagine how the things happen in your daily life. You have a thought. Like all of you had a thought few months back that, okay, I should study Yoga Vasishtha. Now you took the action on that thought, and right now it is a reality that thought, which was in a very subtle state, has manifested into this world, and you are listening to these audios and you are reading the book. The same way, on the subtler level, there was an intention on the level of the consciousness, and then that intention got manifested, and then the creation happened. Because there was no particular cause, reason required for that. It just happened like a spontaneous thing. The thought came. What was the cause for that thought to come? Nothing. It was just a spontaneous thing. You cannot go to the basic of any thought and find the cause for that. It is just the spontaneous fluctuation of the energy inside you, or it is getting affected by the surroundings around you, and it is coming in you, and you are considering and you are taking the ownership of that thought inside you and creating your own world. So that is why he is saying again and again that there is no beginning for this, because from where it has come, there is no base for that. So how are you taking the ownership of that? Now it is like a dream. In the state of the ignorance, the intelligence within oneself appears as numerous dream objects, all of which is nothing other than the intelligence itself. So like I said before, it is like a dream. Now what is a dream? You are sleeping and you are having a dream. Suppose in your dream you are there, and around you there is a forest, and in that forest there is a lion. The lion is running behind you, and now you run, you go and hide somewhere in the house, and in that house there are people. They look after you, and you wait there, and the lion goes away and you come home. Suppose this is your dream. You are there as you, lion is also you, house is also you, the people in the house is also you, and they are looking after you, that is also you, the process is also you, you are running is also you, you are sweating while you are running in a dream is also you. So everything is nothing but just the part of the same intelligence which has projected in your dream as a different characters, and you are talking to them, you are interacting with them, and you are going through the emotions while you are doing all those things. Exactly. So this is what he means, that is the same intelligence which has been going. The same way, when you wake up, it is the same intelligence which is getting projected as your consciousness, as your mind, as your intellect, as your body, as your action, as your thought, as a result of the action, and all everything that has been created around you. That is why there is no basis for this creation. Now Rama said, how it is that the world is acquired with such a sense of reality. He is still stuck into the physical appearance of the world, and maybe many of you also might be stuck into the physical appearance of this world. So now on the next page, Vashishta said, I can narrate you how the creation appears to have engaged from the one pure undivided cosmic being. Even the dream appears in the cosmic consciousness, even as the dreams in the consciousness of the sleeping person. Okay, so now he is telling Rama and everybody that how everything has come into being. Now understand this. This universe is in fact the eternal, effulgent, infinite consciousness which generates within itself the knowable, which would be known that which is to be. So in the individual conscious, in the infinite consciousness, let us imagine like there is a vibration arised, and in that vibration there is a desire arise, or maybe an intention arise that okay, I want to understand myself, because there is a vibration. The vibration is thinking I'm separate from whatever on what basic I'm vibrating. Now immediately there is a separateness happen. Why there is a separateness happen? Because there is a big blessing for this consciousness that whatever comes as intention in it will get manifested in it, will get manifest. Like your thoughts every day, you think about something that goes into the action and it get manifested. Tomorrow I am going to cook rice and I am going to eat that rice. That is a thought. Tomorrow I will get up, I will cook rice, I will eat. Tomorrow evening I will think about this process. So I have got a thought goes into the action goes into the results, and I am consuming that. The same way, the consciousness became separate from the absolute. We will call the infinite consciousness as an absolute and the consciousness as a consciousness. That will make the thing little clear. Now, this has got an idea of concerning its form. Now, because it became separate, it wanted to have its form, physical form, which is the space, the physical space that came into the existence. That is what he has written there. And with an inquiry commencing itself. And now in that physical space, when he's got a form, then he started inquiring about what else does he want to experience to know itself. Are you getting what I'm saying? The whole process of the spiritual journey is that individual consciousness has separated from the absolute and born in a physical form and want to merge back into that form. And this is the whole process of the spirituality. That is called enlightenment. That is called liberation, because you are just removing all the covers that you have got on top of you and you are going back to your basic pure nature. Now, because the individual consciousness is come out of the absolute and it has got the power of creating its own world, you are creating your own world and getting entangled into that world. Okay, so how does that happen? After the considerable time, the consciousness of the creation becomes strong in the infinite being, and the future jiva is formed. So absolute becomes consciousness, which has got the infinite space in it, which is the infinite space of the consciousness. Now that space wants to have a physical form. Then the physical space came into the being, and then after that physical space, all the other elements came into the being. There was a movement happened in this physical space. The air came into the existence. Because of the movement between the air and the space, the fire came into the existence. Because of the fire, air and space, water came into existence, and because of all these four, the solid form of earth came into existence. Now don't imagine like earth is on its own, the whole round earth came into existence. It came into the very small crystal forms, and then all those crystals formed with the gravitational force started attracting to each other, and then the planets form, and then everything form, so whatever he has written in one paragraph and whatever I told you just now, this is the process of billions and billions of years. So it took a long time to all those things. Now, because the space is formed, the faculty of the sound manifested into that. Now, when the air formed, the touch came into the existence. Because without air, you cannot feel the touch. Without sound, without space, you cannot hear any sound. Then the fire came into the existence. Without fire, you cannot see. The sight came into the existence. So everything came into the existence with millions and millions or maybe billions of years of this evolution process happening, and slowly from the small creatures, amoebas and bacteria and all that, this life has come into the existence. So this is not just happened, like this is not related to just you, oh I'm just born as a human being. No, that is not true. This has gone through the scientifically evolution process. So that's why this is where the science and spirituality go hand in hand. This is why that is why this book has been referred by many of the well-known scientists who has been studying quantum physics and atomic physics, because they say, how come these people so many thousands years of ago know all those things? Because what they did not understand is, inside you all these 5 elements are there. I don't have to go and check the whole space. If I will just sit and focus on the space element inside me, I will get the answers for that. Not I will get the answers, because we are in a busy schedule and we don't have so much time to meditate. But the sages during 5,000, 10,000 years back used to just sit for years and years and hours and hours and months and just meditate. And then the knowledge in that space element is to dawn in between them. The knowledge in that air element is to dawn between them. The knowledge behind all this element, the consciousness, is to dawn in between them. And then with the experience of that, all the scriptures in the Hinduism or the Sanatan Dharma is been written on the basis of that. Now the water came into the existence. Because of the water, taste came into the existence. If your tongue is dry, you will not feel the taste. And then earth is related to the smell. So all these things came into the existence. And then in this paragraph, it is written there are 14 planes of existence which are shared, which are the 14 planes of existence. But don't worry too much about that. Don't go into that many details. It's just for your fun I share, because you don't need to know all those things. In reality, how everything is happening, that is very important for you to understand. Now the 5 elements are the seed of which the world is the tree. The 5 elements are the seed and of which the world is the tree. And the eternal consciousness is the seed of the elements. As is the seed, so is the fruit. Therefore, the world is nothing but the Brahman absolute. Now understand this. Your body has got 5 elements. What is the seed of these 5 elements? 5 elements is the seed of this world. Okay, sorry. Your body is the world, or whatever world you have created around you is, if you consider that, what is the basic of that 5 elements? Because of 5 elements, your body is existing. Because of the body, you are creating your world. Tomorrow, if your body is not there, do you think you will be able to do anything in this world? Can you move a small matchsticks also from one place to another? No. So, basic of your world as a body or as a outer world is the 5 elements. It is all 5 elements, permutation and combination of all that. What is behind the 5 elements which we just discussed? How the space came into existence, air, fire, water and earth? Because of the consciousness. Because consciousness separated itself and slowly all those forms happen. So consciousness is base of all those 5 elements. Now consciousness itself is Brahman, the absolute. That is why everything that is come out of that is Brahman, the absolute. That's what he is saying. If you saw a rose seed, the rose will come out of that. Isn't it? The same way the consciousness has manifested into the consciousness, but it is seen in the physical form, and we have got so much attached to this individual consciousness, and we are just imagine ourselves as human beings and as a creatures and as an intellectual or non-intellectual. There are so many rights, wrongs, yes, no concepts in our head which has been fed since we are born in that way. Right now it is becoming very difficult for you to go back and understand. But you go back every night when you go to sleep without dissolving into that absolute Brahman or infinite consciousness. You do not exist. So just think about that again and again, that why do I sleep and why do I go into that thing again and again. Now he says, Rama, I shall now tell you how the jiva came into this body. So the jiva thought, I am atomic in nature and stature. So atomic means it came out of the elements and it's very small. And stature in nature means it is very small, but it has got the possibility of, it has got a tremendous power to manifest into anything that is it will think of, or it will the intention come into its area, into its consciousness. That is what is happening every day. Thought is coming into your head and you are doing that. Coming to Australia is a thought came into your head, because many of you are migrated. That's why I'm giving you this example. Doing about your job, about your career, about your marriage, about your house, about your car, about doing everything, about doing this course about art of living. Everything was a thought at one particular time, and then it manifested into the reality because of you putting the effort into that. And that is the blessing. That is why the jiva, the individual, jiva means individual soul. That is what the individual soul, or maybe soul will not be the right word, individual consciousness thought of itself that yes, I want to manifest and make my own world. That's why everything came into the existence. This jiva, which in truth has extremely subtle body of pure consciousness, of course, because it is borrowed its power from the pure consciousness and separated from the pure consciousness. Even the mountain in reflected in the mirror is seen as if it were in the mirror. The jiva reflects the external objects and activities, soon begins to think that they are all within itself, and he is the doer of the actions and experiencer of the experiences. So this is very beautiful word has been given in Sanskrit. Chit chaya means the borrowed energy, like moon. There is nothing like a moonlight. What is the moonlight? Is the borrowed light from the sun and reflecting from the moon, and we call it as a moonlight. Clear? Now the same way the jiva is borrowed its energy, its power, its everything from this consciousness, and because it's so powerful that it thinks itself as I am powerful and creating this whole world, and that is the beginning of our individual ego. You cannot get rid of your ego by saying, oh, I should be like doing this, I should be like doing this. Until and unless you go to the basis of your creation and understand from where you are separated from this Brahman, from this pure consciousness, you will not hit the egoistic nature inside you. So this is because it has got the blessing, it has come out of that, and it has got the power of that. It created itself, and then it's thought, oh, I'm doing all these things. Don't you think in your life, oh, I'm doing all this thing, I'm putting all these efforts, I'm reading this, I'm listening to this, I'm going to gym. The same way it also thinks. Where it has come from? It has come from that basic nature of you as an individual consciousness, And then because it's doing the action, it's thinking itself a doer. Because it's doing a doer, it's going through the experiences. Because it's going through the experiences, then it's experiencing everything. When the jiva wishes to see, the eyes form. Now the jiva is the individual consciousness we are talking about. It wanted to see the world. The eyes came into existence. Eyes will come into the existence because there is already a fire element there. So it's not a big thing. And form into the gross body. Even so, skin, ears, tongue, nose, and organs of actions are formed as a result of appropriate desire arising in the individual consciousness. Now, like I said, this took a long and lots of years of the evolution process which went through, and then this has happened. So, but this is just given in one line here. Now, thus the body abides jiva. Now, thus resting in the unreal, which however appears to be real, Brahman now appears to be jiva, becomes confused. Now the one which is separated from its original nature and started thinking itself as the creator of its own world, got confused and saying, what is this? Why I'm stuck? Why you all are confused? Why you all are not happy? Why you all are not peaceful? This is the reason, because you are thinking you are separate from the main source. Right now, at this time, at this second, if you think you are a part of that pure absolute and you're a part of that pure consciousness, and you have nothing to do in creating yourself the way you are, it was just a spontaneous thing or an accident that happened and you got created. And if you want to get rid of that, you can just drop it right now and be free. Everything that you think about yourself is nothing but your own imagination, and if you drop it, you will start becoming free from that. And the moment more and more free you will become, the more and more close you will start going to yourself, and just rest into that thing. That is exactly what happened. Now, you can't do this intellectually because it's difficult. That is why the practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Sahaj Samadhi has come into existence, because the masters know that this is difficult. So what happens when you do the Sudarshan Kriya? You do the breathing technique, and then after that, the personality which is projected on you becomes subtle. You start getting the clear vision. You go to the Sahaj, you do the meditation, the personality that is projected, the thoughts, the busy mind, the body, the agitation in the body, everything just slows down, settles down. You can get the clear picture of who you are. Okay. Now, there is neither one jiva or many, or nor a combination of the jiva. Jiva is only the name. Yeah, like I said, you might think that I'm an individual consciousness and it is like oh, I'm separate, but it is just one consciousness. It is, how can I say that, it is been it is a center point of that one individual consciousness. Whatever it has projected out is this particular body. That's why you feel separateness. Like this room, or whichever room you are right now in, there is a space in that room. Now, is that space different from the outside space? Yes, because there is walls and there is roof. But if you drop the walls and roof, then will it be separate from the outside space? No, it is just one, isn't it? It become one. The same thing, this consciousness, because it has been covered and it has been defined into this body and under these concepts of in your mind, that is why you think it is an individual thing. But if you drop the concepts, if you drop the body, then it just becomes one with the other consciousness. There is no separate consciousness there. Even as an unreal nightmare produces real results, the world seems to give the rise to the sense of reality in the state of ignorance. When the true wisdom arises, the unreality vanishes. So because the Rama asked the first question, how come this world came? How come I see the world as real? That's why he is given all this explanation about how the world came into the existence. And now he is saying here that like the nightmare produces real results. Nightmare produces real results. What does it mean? That means you got a nightmare that you have been chased by the lion and you feel sweaty, your heartbeat increases. You feel tired, you feel exhausted, you feel your throat is getting dry. All those things you can experience, and you might have experienced so many times in your life. The same way in this world also, because everything is unreal, but you feel it's real, and you go through all the emotional and mental ups and downs and all those things. So by the apprehension of the perceived or the knowable, the consciousness becomes jiva, individual soul, or the individual consciousness, and is apparently involved into the repetitive history. When the false notion of the knowable apart from the knower ceases, it remains into the equilibrium. What is the repetitive history? Think about your name. Did you know this is your name? No. Did you know you are a male or a female? Male or a female. That has been repetitive history. Somebody fed into you. Okay, your name is this, your name is this, your name is this. Not in particular way, but they called you a name. You're a man, you're a man, you're a woman, you're a woman. You are smart, you are not smart, you are intelligent, you are not intelligent. All those things, and like that, you became what you are just now. At this point, again, if you get rid of that, you will be free. You do not have to carry all these imaginary concepts under your head. because there is a evidence inside you to compare yourself with someone else, which is again unreal. That IQ test, for example, because my IQ is 100 and the IQ of the talented person is 140, I can compare myself. Because there is a comparison in this world and we got so much of data, you think and you imagine and you consider it as the reality that yes, I am not smart. Because your IQ is more than the general IQ what people has got, you think no, I'm intelligent. Because you're stronger than the general population, I think I'm strong. You're weaker than the general population. All this comparison and all this data has been fed into our mind through all this, our social system, our family system, our education system, our way of looking at the things. That's why the comparison comes and the imagination becomes real and real. The mysterious power of the consciousness, which is an inexplicable and miraculous way, produces this finite diversity of names and forms. Like I said before, that thought comes into your mind as an intention and it becomes into the action, and you can see the results of that action. The same way, on the subtler level, the individual consciousness, because of its power and produces so many infinite diversities of the names and forms. Now don't just consider itself as the names and forms of the human beings. This individual consciousness is in everything, in all the plants, all the trees, and all the birds, and all the sea creatures, all the normal creatures, all the bugs, all the snails. Everything that you can think is existing on this planet and moving, or not moving but living, is a result of that individual consciousness. It is that power it has got. It is that is what is called as the knowledge and the intelligence of that thing, which has got this capacity. And like I said before, that is called egotism. The moment it thinks of something and it projects itself and it becomes that thing, it thinks that becomes its ego. That is what is happening with us. Now plants don't have the ego because they don't understand, they are not intelligent. We are intellectual, that's why we think, oh, I'm separate from you and you are separate from me, I'm better than you, you are not better than me, or vice versa, whatever it is. And we entertain these notions of various elements and these notions of the various elements that constitute this universe, and they arise. Now there is a big permutation and combination of mind, intellect, egotism, and 5 elements. So you cannot even imagine how much this is happening, like. And if you remember, if you read if you listen to the Ashtavakra Gita, in that also Guruji has mentioned that the elements are there in the physical form that you can see in the body, but even the elements are present on your mind level of the mind also. Elements are present on the level of your intellect also. All the subtler forms of you, not the subtlest, not the consciousness, but the subtler form of you, till that consciousness, everything is being affected by the elements by some or the other way. Because before you see the air as an element in a physical form, it is there also in a subtle form in the space as subtlest way, so that's how the physical form came into the existence. That's why everything is available in the subtlest form, in the seed form, and it affects all those non-physical forms of our existence as well. Now, when the notion of external knowable has been removed, self-knowledge arises. Now, what is external knowable inside you? Everything that has been based on your individual consciousness. Your individual consciousness has got the concepts, that concepts to fulfill those concepts, ideas, intentions, thoughts. To fulfill those ideas, intention, thought, this whole projection has manifest. If you go back slowly, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not this, and reverse back slowly, and if you reach to that state, it is available right now. The funny thing is that the real knowledge, the real experiencer, the real Brahman is available all the time. We are not aware of that. So there is, right now at this time, if you just take your attention back, and once you know how to reach that, once not reach that, even calling itself reach that is also not the right thing. Now you know how to just relax with yourself. You can see that the whole thing in happening, all this drama happening in me, is just nothing but the external knowable, which has been created all these notions. The world exists because consciousness is, and the world is the body of the consciousness, and there is no division, no difference, like the world is the body of this consciousness, so like this body is the body of that individual consciousness that can you right now be aware of you are sitting, you are listening. Now ask yourself, who is listening, and go back. Who is watching? Go back. Take a step back. Maybe the thought will come, mind is listening, mind is watching. Who is saying that the mind is watching? Maybe intellect. Who is saying that the intellect is watching through the mind? Reverse yourself back. So like that, you will see that the consciousness that you are, presence of yourself, that I am, that is there, and the body is its form, physical form. Like we discussed before, if you drop these walls and the ceiling, the space becomes one. If I drop this body and the individual consciousness become one with the consciousness, that the universal consciousness, what is the body? Everything around it is body. All the trees, all the animals, all the living creatures, all the planets, everything that has been created out of that is its body. So that's what he's saying here. There is no division in that, because everything has just come into that, and it's consolidated at one particular form, and we can see the physical form. That's why we get confused. Now, even from the waking state experience, there is no materiality in the objects seen in the dream. Though while dreaming the objects appears to be solid, this world appears to be material, yet in reality it is pure consciousness. So he has given the same example which we discussed, like in dream everything looks real, and you are a dream body, you experience everything, you wake up, you are into this body, you are thinking yourself separate, and you are experiencing all those things. The moment you will wake up here also, you will see, oh, this is all happening. So it is it is still keep happening. Don't imagine something wrong, and don't form any more big concepts now. It will still keep happening, but you will have the ability not to participate into that. You will start becoming, initially it will be the experience of, oh, I can feel that separateness. I can just feel that steadiness, equilibrium inside me, that centeredness inside me, and I can see the thoughts coming and going, body moving, bodies breathing out. I'm talking. While talking, you will witness yourself. While hearing, you will witness yourself. Like the actions will happen, but you will not feel that you are separate from the actions, and they will start becoming the pure actions. That's why the saints and the sages and the gurus and masters, their actions are always considered as a pure and perfect, because they have been sprouted from that perfect equilibrium or center state, and that's why they are always right. This will be the first 1 second experience, 2 second experience, and that will be enough for changing your whole life. But then if you persist, and if you keep going again, doing the same thing, going back, and reaching to yourself after meditation, after kriya, after sahaj, whatever, means you can use all these tools, wonderful tools we have, to take you there. And once you're there, then you just let go and just be there, and then experience. Then that will start becoming more and more. That will start manifesting more and more. This actually happens with everybody when you do the first Sudarshan Kriya. But you don't understand that, and you keep coming back again and again. That's where you get glued to the technique, and you want that experience again and again. Problem is that you forget, and you keep comparing yourself with the first experience. That's why you misses the other experiences, and you misses that I am still not the experiencer. I am the one. I should not get involved into the experiences. I should just retrieve myself back and just relax there. Only knowledge based on ignorance clings on the notion of in the world. In reality, there is no difference, meaning for the world, Brahman, infinite, self, and all that. See, like we said, before, it's all the play of words, just for making the people who are not understood the reality. All these books and all these sages and all these masters and all these scriptures has used these words to make you understand the difference, because you are right now into the duality. You know that I am there, you are there. We are actually, I'm also not fully there, work in progress. So we are into the duality. We can see you are there, I am there, and we are just working on retrieving ourselves back. So to understand this more clearly, people who are walking on this path, all these words are used. Like the infinite consciousness, individual consciousness, individual soul, and all those things. But in fact, actually, it's just one, The space is just one, but somewhere it's called as a Plimpton Community Center, somewhere it's called as a church, somewhere it's called as your house address, somewhere it's called as my house address. What is the difference? It is just the building that we have created and the area where it is. But ultimately, it's just one space. If you drop down all the buildings in this world, what address you can give to anybody? Nothing. It's just the space will become one. And now, after that, we are starting a wonderful story. The first story, which is a very long story, but a very beautiful story of the King Padma and Queen Leela. Now, if you read this story, the Leela's thought. One day, Leela had a thought. The most handsome king, who is my husband, is dearer to me. And she said that, he and I may live forever enjoying the pleasure of the life. Now watch this. Remember this. This is the first intention has come into her mind. Now the rest of the story, when you will read, you will come to know how that intention has manifested and what are things she has done to make this intention as a reality. So what is the intention? That me and my husband should live forever enjoying the pleasures of the life. Okay, and then she begins to pray, and the goddess Saraswati. Saraswati is the energy form, feminine energy form, which bestows you with the knowledge of wisdom, art, and learning, music, and all that. Okay, and then she asked, and then the Saraswati granted the two boons. What is the first boon? When my husband departs his body, let his jiva, individual consciousness, remain in the palace, and whenever I pray you, let me see you. Because I want to see you. You should just come. That's it. No questions asked. So now Leela asked her, pray, tell me where my husband is when the husband is passed away. She said there are three spaces: psychological space, physical space, and the infinite space. Now understand this. Infinite space is where our individual consciousness is, which is separated itself from the absolute. Now psychological space is the space in between the thoughts, space in between the emotions, psychological level. I want to go to Melbourne. Now I'm in the Melbourne. Immediately the moment the thought is coming, the space is there, but that's not the physical space. That's the psychological space, which is more powerful than the physical space, but yet less powerful than the infinite space. Because in infinite space, I can't reach anywhere, And the physical space is I want to be in Melbourne, then I will need to work a lot of things, I will need to go by plane or train or bus or car. So that is the difference between the physical space, psychological space, and infinite space of consciousness. On this, the most subtle is the infinite space. That is obvious. We just talked about that. By intense meditation of this infinite space of consciousness, you can see and experience the presence of one like your husband whose body is in that infinite space, even though you do not see him there here. That is what we were just talking about, that how you can go back from the physical space to the psychological space to the individual infinite space, and how you can remain into that. That is the whole process of meditation. She has given it here. This happens every day unconsciously in your deep sleep. This is how you go back, and this is how you come out. But now you want to do it consciously. Consciously, when you do these things, that is called enlightenment. I mean, it's not like immediate enlightenment. That is a process of becoming. And unconsciously, it just happens. It's just deep sleep. If you give up all the thoughts, you will be here and now attain the realization of oneness with all. So all the thoughts, what are your thoughts made up of? Everything about you and everything about the world. Can you get rid of all the thoughts at this particular point? The moment your mind is calm, relaxed, and stable, you will start witnessing everything. Your body will become still. Your eyes will calm down. Everything just changes immediately. It is the wonderful state. Initially, it's very difficult. I'm telling you, warning you, but don't worry. With practice, you can get it. Practice and grace. Grace is very important. So surrender to the master, surrender to the guru, and keep doing your sadhana. And after doing your sadhana is a tool, understand that. Sadhana is a vehicle you are using from going from one place to another place. Once you reach to the another place, leave the vehicle outside and go in the home and rest in the home. The vehicle has got a purpose. Afterwards, in the same Yoga Vasishtha, that will also come, like, you cannot, initially also he said, with austerities and with meditation and with all the penance, you cannot reach. But these are the tools that is used. And tools are useful, because then otherwise, how can you do that? Your mind is not strong enough, your intelligence is not strong enough for you to understand. So, this is where we are now. And now Leela began to meditate. Immediately she entered into the highest state of consciousness, free from all distractions, nirvikalpa. Vikalpa means all the thoughts and modulations of the mind, and nirvikalpa means not having all those distractions. She was in the infinite space of consciousness. There she saw the king once again on the throne, surrounded by many kings who adored him. But they did not see her. She wondered. They all are dead too. Again, by the grace of Goddess Saraswati, she came back to her palace and saw her attendants asleep. She woke them up and asked them to request the members of the royal court to resemble at once. This is where we stopped. Now, let's read from 15 to 21 pages. I will send that as a message as well and see what happens there. Now, the last paragraph that I read, that she went and experienced whatever is happening. So basically, in simple words, we can say she had the access to the ancestors who are not present here but who are dead, So she has access to that world as well, where the ancestors live. Now, don't take everything that is written here as it is, It might not be like that, There will be lots of different ways the ancestors might be existing in the different energy forms and all that we don't know. But it is very much possible. It is written in Patanjali Yoga Sutras also, and many Guru stories are there with our Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar, that he had the access to all these worlds, and he has told the people what is been happening and all that. The recent experience that I can share is he was once after Rishi Nitya Pragyaji left his body and was gone. After a few weeks, a few days, he mentioned in one of the satsang that, Rishiji has sent you the message that he is all right, and it is not what it looks like when you are there. So that's what, something like that, he said the message, So definitely he has, and of course there are lots of many other people also that you might be aware that who can talk to the ghost and who can talk to the spirits and all that, So it's very easily. So don't get baffled by all those things. Just keep understanding yourself. If you understand yourself, you will understand everything and anything. On this note, Jai Gurudev.